Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
As I alluded to earlier, Passover, as the special Haftarah for Shabbat Hagadol indicates and guides us towards, Passover is a time to welcome Elijah and to hope for a full redemption, which is a dream. It is a Jewish dream, a Geula Shlema, a full redemption of the Jewish people and the world. And so we dream. What would happen if we put as much energy and effort into waging peace as we do into waging war? Silly. Or is it? What if America had not only or not a Department of War, which is what it was called, or a Department of Defense, but a Department of Peace? And what if it was funded as extravagantly as the Department of Defense is funded? What if we did that? What if we responded to an attack or the threat of an attack with this attitude? You are threatening to or have committed a grave attack, a violent offense against our people, our land, our interests. We can respond in kind, but we know that that would lead to tremendous suffering for both of us. So we, I'm hypothetically speaking, America now, we will dispatch our greatest resources, our greatest minds, to meet with some of your greatest minds. And we will figure out how to avoid further violence, because war causes tremendous pain and sorrow. Broken bones, crushed bodies, bloodshed, and the deaths of innocents, civilians, on a massive scale. We should know that, our emissaries of peace will say. We should know that because at least 400,000 Iraqi and Afghani civilians were killed by the United States and its proxies since we entered those countries. This is according to Brown University's Watson Institute for International and Public Affairs. 400,000 is a lowball figure. And then our emissaries from the Department of Peace might say, and if you refuse to engage in this negotiation for peace, we will embark on a strategy of our own. We will figure this out, even if you have leverage over us, even if you want war in the worst way, even if you think that war suits your needs, we will insist on another way. We'll find a way around it, because we do not want war. And we don't care if you loathe us. All we care about is that none of our people be killed by you, your people, and none of our people be forced to kill any of yours. So seriously, peace is the only option. Our history in America, as we all know, it's a brilliant history, of course. It also includes some of the not so brilliant: genocide, slavery, very misbegotten wars. And all of those horrors demanded tremendous amount of energy when you think about it. Organization, coordination, business, money, funding, and creativity. Yes, because even the most horrible things in this world require human creativity. So what if we were to expend some of that, or the same amount of that capital, the organizing, the coordinating, the funding, the creativity, and all of that, on preparing for and waging peace, a Department of Peace? What if all the energy that we take towards that violent endeavors, which we feel we must engage in, and turn it around, Department of Peace? The Defense Department logo is a bald eagle with arrows in its talons. Imagine the Department of Peace's logo, a bald eagle with what in its talons? How about olive branches? I know, this is an insane idea, and some might consider this a puerile idea, an immature idea. But is it really more insane than allocating $800 billion annually to the Defense Department? The 2023 Defense Department allocation was $773 billion. It will be more in 2024. It's crazy, I know. Prioritizing peace requires a major, major change of attitude. Complete change of human attitude. And it would certainly upset many interests in this or any country, defense contractors, Lockheed Martin, Northrop, more. It might disappoint men who prefer war, because we men often get excited by war. It activates something inside of us. That's not a problem. So we'll put the women in charge of Department of Peace. Women, I don't know, maybe they're more evolved than men in this regard. Note the female characters in the Exodus story, which we're going to be recalling and retelling and reading about for Pesach. The women, midwives Shifra and Puah, defying Pharaoh's genocidal war against the Jews. Why? To preserve life. Yocheved, Moses' mother, placing her baby in a basket, sending him down the Nile River. Why? Because she believed that waters flowed toward life. Bat Paro, the daughter of Pharaoh, defying her father, her brothers, all the other macho men around her, by accepting that rejected baby, by adopting that hated baby of the Hebrews, Moses, because she believed in life. And then Miriam, Moses' older sister, 5 years old, approaching the daughter of Pharaoh as one female to another, saying, I know a woman who can nurse this baby. Together, they created a web to sustain life. 4 women, 1 girl. That's the life. Who is responsible for the death and violence and destruction in the story that we're about to read for Passover? First, of course, the pharaohs of one generation and then the next one, and their advisors and the taskmasters, all that violence. That's how it starts, right? And then how do the Israelites respond to that violence? Let's take a radical, fundamental look at the story of the Exodus and what precedes it, what happens in Egypt. How do the Israelites in Torah respond to that violence? It makes me uncomfortable to say it, but let's acknowledge it. Torah has the Israelites respond to violence, with tremendous violence. And who is the dominant male in the story? Who is the dominant male for the Israelites in the story of Egypt and the Exodus? Not Moses. Who? God. Torah throughout the Bible portrays God usually as a character. It does. Read it. God is a character, a masculine character, a he. At the end of the Exodus, in the Song of the Sea, Torah literally refers to God as what? Ish milchama. Literally calling God Ish milchama, man of war. And that's something that is a striking anthropomorphism. God as the ultimate superhero. We know our holy books. So we're accustomed to this portrayal of God, the bellicose Israelite God. But dare we wonder, dare we dream, is this what we really want from the God of our most sacred book, the God of Torah, responding to every slight with a thunderbolt, think Nadav and Abihu, or with the ground opening up and swallowing the offenders, think Korach and his band, or with plagues of disease and fire against Israelites as they're wandering through the desert when they do something wrong. It's a punishing God. It's a punishing God, that Ish Milchama. Are we bold enough to challenge that view of God, that understanding of God in the Bible? Can we imagine God differently? Jewish tradition does. Jewish tradition does imagine God differently. Think the Shekhinah, God's dwelling presence. The Shekhinah, it's a name for God. It's in rabbinic literature, post-Bible, but very common. Shekhinah is a feminine word, dwelling presence. Shekhinah, a sharp contrast to Adonai, dwelling presence, feminine word, Adonai, Lord, masculine connotation. What if the biblical writers made the God that freed the Israelites not an Ish Milchama, a man of war, but Shekhinah, a dwelling presence? What if the Shekhinah, eternal presence, sent Moses? Or if you really want to be imaginative, what if the Shekhinah, eternal presence, sent Miriam to approach Pharaoh with this message? Pharaoh, these people will be freed from servitude. You don't want that. You are stubborn. You have many interests invested in these slaves, in this slave population. But it will happen. The Shekhinah, eternal presence of Israel, will ensure that it happens without violence. No violent plagues will devastate your society and kill massive amounts of your young. For that, says this messenger, Moses or Miriam, that is how the God of Israel operates in this world. The God of Israel will free the slaves in her own way, with peace. There's an Israeli and Palestinian organization, which some of you might be familiar with, called Nashim Osot Shalom. Nashim Osot Shalom, Women Wage Peace. Vivian Silver of Kibbutz Be'eri in the south of Israel was one of the founders, one of the primary founders of that organization. On October 7th, Hamas killed her. Her biography, her bio, remains just as it was before October 7th, when she was alive, on the website of Nashim Osot Shalom, Women Wage Peace. She wrote this about herself. It's in the first person. She wrote, I think this is from 2018, she added this bio to the site. She wrote, "The thought of yet another war drives me mad. Like the last three, it will not resolve conflict. It will only bring more dead and wounded." So can we imagine what might happen? Can we possibly imagine what may be if nations throughout the world spent billions upon billions upon billions of dollars each year to achieve one goal, avoiding war? Crazy idea. It's so crazy, it's hard for me, having prepared these remarks, to even wrap my head around it. It's just completely opposite of how we understand the world. But what if? In this violent world of ours, what if? Well, friends, we are Jews. We are experts at dreaming about what may be. O tirei, kama tov yeh, bashana, bashana, haba'ah. You will see how good it will be. Bashana, Bashana, Haba'ah, next year. Shabbat Shalom.